Hello, I am Don Joseph Goewey. I am president of a human performance firm called Pro Attitude that is focused on alleviating people's stress and elevating their potential to succeed. I am also the author of a book called The End of Stress, there it is, which has been translated into German. And I'm here to tell you about the weekend workshop I'll be presenting at Frankfurter Ring on the weekend of June 16th through the 18th. I will display the information you see on screen again at the end of this video, which is about 10 minutes long, so stay with me. There are some really interesting insights you'll gain by listening. The title of the workshop is Radical Peace because it facilitates a radical shift in how you see, relate, and function in the world. This course facilitates a 180-degree shift in mindset that generates a 180-degree shift in the way your brain works, switching your brain's autopilot from stressed, reactive, and negative to calm, creative, and positive. The shift represents the higher brain working for you instead of the lower brain working against you. This shift is nothing less than your higher mind taking charge of your higher brain, empowering the fluid and creative intelligence to excel, along with the emotional and social intelligence that instills joy in your work, harmony in your day, love in your relationships, and more energy and vitality. Who does not long for a change like that? So let me give you the background on the workshop. To begin with, I want to make clear that this course is not only about ending stress, it's about going beyond it, crossing over from a stressful life to whatever degree to the good life, which Aristotle defined as a life of flourishing, of being well and doing well and excelling at whatever matters most to you. In one way or another, we human beings have been striving to reach the good life, going all the way back to the ancient Greeks. But sadly, modern research shows that few people achieve it. But don't stress, it is now well within your reach. That's because in the last 15 years, research in neuroscience has discovered how we can direct our minds to condition our brains to achieve the good life. And it turns out to be simpler than you might think. The workshop translates the research into simple, proven tools that build the mindset that changes the brain in profoundly positive ways. I will be guiding you step by step through the process of building the daily practice that rewires your brain in two important ways. First, it rewires the brain's fear center to quiet stress reactions that can make life feel like you're pushing a giant stone to the top of a hill only to have it roll back over you. Second, it enables you to achieve neural integration, which is a brain lit up like the brain scan on the right instead of the one on the left. Since I will be leading you on the workshop, I'd like to tell you something about myself. And then I want to give you 4 facts of life from the research that are foundational to this workshop. So, about me. I've had a long career in human potential, and the richest part of that career I experienced as director of an institute that pioneered a psychological approach to overcoming catastrophic life events. The institute was founded by the American psychiatrist Dr. Gerald Jampolsky, who established a school of psychology based on attitude. He also wrote Love is Letting Go of Fear. There he is on screen, wearing a bow tie. The Institute worked with some of the most stressful situations in life, with people facing life-threatening illnesses like AIDS, cancer, and ALS. We offered groups for parents grieving the loss of a child. We worked in prison with men serving life sentences. And the U.S. State Department sent us into refugee camps in Croatia and Bosnia to help refugees deal with the severe post-traumatic stress they suffered from that genocidal war. The results the Institute achieved earned it an international reputation, and in 2005 it received the Excellence in Medicine Award from the American Medical Association. One of the many things I did during my tenure at the Institute was to lead a 6-year-long think tank that created a model for resolving stress that went far beyond conventional stress management. We took the training out into high pressure, high stress work environments to test it. And on screen, you can see the results achieved with nearly 4,000 people. The course achieved an initial 40% drop in people's perceived stress level. That's nearly half. Further, 93% expected the decline in stress to continue to drop as they continue to work with the tools that you'll be learning if you attend the workshop. And there were other gains: increases in productivity, creativity, job satisfaction, improvements in work and family relationships, and improvement in people's sense of well-being. These changes are all indicative of gains in higher brain function. Now, I am not mentioning these results to brag, but to give you an indication of what's possible in this training. Give this course a chance and you can emerge from this process with a lot less stress and much better brain function. You know, we human beings are called the crown of creation because of our brain. Yet, for far too many people, the brain does not seem to crown their lives with health, wealth, and love. Quite the contrary. It seems to malfunction in self-defeating patterns of stress. This is the lower brain, called the amygdala, taking charge of our experience, reducing us to fight or flight stress reactions that dump toxic stress hormones into our system, switching our emotional set point to negative, temporarily lowering IQ as much as 40%, causing marriage and family dysfunction, and damaging our DNA and immune system in ways that can lead to life-threatening illness. Stress is serious. It's life-threatening serious. It's not something we should someday do something about. We need to shift it whenever it raises its ugly head. Well, the new research has established that your brain takes its direction from your state of mind. So here's a fact you need to consider. Everything for a human being is mindset. This is a conclusion reached by some of our best scientists. And there are only two mindsets you need to understand. One mindset is negative, generating an inner experience of contraction that feels like the walls are closing in on you. It is built on the fearful thinking that makes you believe you are a victim of circumstances. The stress hormones that a negative mindset produce shrink higher brain networks. The other mindset is positive, generating an inner experience of expansion that makes you feel like the sky's the limit. It is built on inner peace, love, and optimism, and makes you believe you are larger than circumstances. A positive mindset not only amplifies higher brain function, it also stimulates the growth of new connections within the higher brain to increase your potential to reach even greater heights. This leads us to the second fact to consider, which is if you have a problem with stress, 50% of it is due to the way genetics and past traumas wired your brain for a hyperactive stress response system, dragging your mind into self-defeating bouts of anxiety, worry, and an exaggerated sense of threat. It's common for people to think that a change of circumstances will solve a stressful situation, but circumstances are only 10% to blame for a stressful life, which means changing circumstances does not make a big difference. The change that makes the biggest difference is a change of mindset. It accounts for 40% of whether you live a life of stress or the good life. And there is growing evidence that a shift to the positive can down-regulate the stress gene, placing you in charge of your quality of life. This leads to the third fact, which is the change that elevates brain function is the mental shift from fear to inner peace. And here's the fourth fact. It's the last one, which is, as far as I'm concerned, the best news of all. I already stated it, but it's worth stating again. The daily mindful practice that generates positive brain change is quite simple, adding little to your to-do list. It's really about functioning from an empowering to-be list. And brain change occurs faster than you might imagine, in as little as 4 weeks. The prescription for brain change that neuroscience advises can be summarized in 2 clear directives. accentuate the positive, and eliminate the negative. It is the prescription for attaining and sustaining the good life. This workshop will facilitate this change in your life for you. Come to the workshop. I promise it will be worth it to you. Here on screen is the information for registering. You can pause the video to copy it down.